right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Kickboxer Retaliation. Giving it 5 out of 5 stars. This is going to be another Karate Man recommendation. Much like American Kickboxer 2, there's a lot of unintentional humor here. Even though this movie doesn't have any nudity, it's got Mike Tyson and the great Christopher Lambert, who was in Fortress, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's got to be in my top 10 Fortress. Everybody talks about Highlander and other things that Christopher Lambert has done. The Legend of Tarzan, Greystoke, French films. He's got a raspy voice. It sounds like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. voice. I don't know what happened to his voice. I guess he's got throat cancer or something. I don't know. Maybe he's got one of those breathing tubes in his trachea. That's what it sounds like. Oh my God. Christopher Lambert is great. He's hamming it up for the camera, smiling when he sees blood and stuff. He's just completely sadistic. And the same thing goes with this Harbor Julius Bjornsson, the world's strongest man. Now, this guy is way better than Dave Bautista as Tong Po in the reboot. I mean, this guy is huge. He's like twice as big as Dave Bautista, if you can believe that. They called it, in the special features, they called it David versus Goliath. Yeah, I guess you could say that. And the funny thing is, at the end, the guy uses like adrenaline to pump himself up, which is kind of funny because Jean-Claude Van Damme used to have a cocaine problem, and he's bipolar. He's not like a health nut like you think he is with his chiseled body. I'm sure it's much worse now. It probably looks like Dolph Lundgren man boobs. But I shouldn't say that about Dolph Lundgren because he's had cancer issues, ongoing cancer issues for the longest time. Karate Man knows all about it. Anyways, I posted the free movie and the 2 trailers in the description for your viewing displeasure. This is going to be one of those so bad that it's good movies. I think the difference is that it's directed by Dimitri Logothetis, who wrote the reboot, but he didn't direct it. They just hired some random guy to direct the reboot, and it didn't come out well, in my opinion. But this one is just bizarre. It's got the Battlefield Earth type of blue tint, dark jails, and whipping, and all kinds of weird stuff going on in this one. And Christopher Lambert turns Jean-Claude Van Damme into a blind man because he trained the dude to kill Tong Po in the reboot. So this is a sequel to the 2016 reboot, a direct sequel. Kickboxer Retaliation is a U.S. martial arts film directed and written by Dimitri Logothetis, who wrote the reboot but didn't direct it, unfortunately. I think if he had directed the reboot, it would have come out better in 2016. It is the 7th in the Kickboxer film series. I looked on Netflix and YouTube, as promised, for Karate Man. Netflix didn't have anything. and YouTube was all buy and rent, or it was dubbed in a different language that I didn't understand. So I said, forget it. That's the second time I've looked up Kickboxer 2 through 5 for Karate Man. Came up empty on Netflix and YouTube anyway. It's probably on Tubi or something. But I'm not ready to switch to Tubi until September when Netflix cut off my DVDs. That's when I'm going to switch. Anyways, it is the seventh in the Kickboxer film series and a direct sequel to the 2016 film Kickboxer Vengeance, which I didn't like. I didn't like the original. Well, I did like them, but I wasn't crazy about them. Let me just put it to you that way. Also written by Logothetis. The film stars Alain Moussi, who's the Canadian dude. He's supposed to be the next Jean-Claude Van Damme. This got Jean-Claude Van Damme himself with his usual getup. He's got the sunglasses, the Humphrey Bogart hat, the wife beater, and the dress shirt. That's his outfit in both movies. Christopher Lambert, what a great role. You could see Christopher Lambert is relishing, hamming it up for the camera, trying to be the bad guy. Ronald Inho, Brazilian footballer. Ronald Inho? That's a soccer player. Mike Tyson. Hi, it's Mike Tyson. I love Mike Tyson in this one. He's great. He's got some great one-liners, Mike Tyson, in this one. Rico Verhoeven, Dutch professional kickboxer, and Harbor Julius Bjornsson, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, Icelandic professional strongman, strongest man in the world, multiple strongman awards, probably the strongest man of all time. Aside from Moussi and Van Damme, Sara McCullough and Sam Medina reprised the roles from the previous film. What about the other guys? There are like three other people in this. Jessica Jann, the St. George guy, isn't it? And the Chris Sloan's brother is in it in a flashback scene. It has been 18 months since Kurt Sloan killed Tong Po and avenged the death of his brother Eric. Now a professional mixed martial artist, Kurt defeats Renato Sobral, also known as Babalu, using a move he calls the Hurricane Armbar, a Hurricane Rana, professional wrestling move. What's that doing in a UFC fight? Into an armbar. Kirk has been plagued by nightmares. So they put a UFC fight, a mock UFC fight, in the beginning of the film to make it look more real. And the camera shots are even more ridiculous here than in the reboot. But I like it, actually. They did the slow motion. They did the crazy speed up of all the destruction of private property that results when these kickboxers are like, not exactly private property, I guess Thai jail property, I should say. On this guy's like beating the crap out of these Thai guards in slow motion. I actually liked it. I thought that the Mike Tyson fight with Jean-Claude Van Damme was hilarious. And the Mike Tyson fight with Kurt Sloan was hilarious. He has this one line, I forget what he says. It's just, Mike Tyson. Kurt has been plagued by nightmares where he and his wife, Liu, are on a train and he finds himself fighting on the train, which ends with him falling into water. Yeah, he's fighting with a comely Asian kung fu specialist. There were a lot of good-looking women in this, but none of them revealed themselves. And like I said, Jessica Jann, excuse me. She was in the first one, but she only had like a bit role. In this one, she has more prominent role. She's actually prettier than the dude's girlfriend, Liu. After the fight, Kurt is met by 2 U.S. Marshals who inform him that he must return to Thailand to be implicated in the death of Tong Po. When Kurt asks to see one of the Marshals' badges, he is tasered. This was when the movie starts getting weird. It's just bizarre. It's like Bloodsport 4. I guess. I haven't seen Bloodsport 4, but Karate Man tells me that it's weird like this. And I trust Karate Man. Awakening in prison in Thailand, Kurt meets Thomas Tang Moore, the mastermind, played by the great Christopher Lambert, the mastermind behind the underground tournament where Kurt, Eric, and Tung Po have competed. Too bad he was in the sidelines in the reboot from 2016, so we didn't see any of him. He was like hiding. He was hiding behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. Moore tells Kurt that when Tong Po was defeated, he was to remain there as the new champion, but instead of with Kurt returning home, Moore needed to find a new champion. Moore offers Kurt to fight the new champion, Malakul. Oh, this guy is 6'8", 400 pounds. And he's a fighter. And he goes, ah! This guy's brutal. Kurt finds himself taunted by Crawford, Tong Po's former right-hand man, who was working for Moore. Moore offers Kurt $1 million to fight Malakul, but Kurt refuses. Why? Why would he refuse? He's getting offered money. He's too chicken to fight this dude, so he'd rather be stuck in prison. Stuck in prison, Kurt finds himself under constant threat from various prisoners, in which he then finds himself whipped by the prison guards each night. Oh, cruel and unusual punishment in Thai jail. How did Christopher Lambert get the authority to send him to jail anyway? That part was missing from the script, I think. During one encounter, Kurt runs into Briggs, played by the great Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, an American boxer who soon bonds with Kurt and even offers him a way to go through the pain from the whippings. Kurt also learns that his Muay Thai teacher, Darren, is now training some of the prisoners, but reveals that for his troubles, he has been blinded. A blind Jean-Claude Van Damme still knows how to train kickboxing because he's Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he's got a sixth sense. Moore, realizing Kurt still will not accept the offer, decides to take drastic measures. It finds Liu at the train station, having bribed the same police officers she had accused of corruption to find Kurt. She gets additional help from old friend Gammon. Gammon is played by Jessica John. Sorry. Can't get their names right. Gammon, Jessica John. However, Moore's goons, led by Somsak, have kidnapped Liu. And that night, Crawford shows Kurt a video of Liu. Kurt decides to take the fight with Darren, Briggs, and fellow prisoners Big County, Fabrisco, Ronaldo, and a huge convict whose size nearly matches that of Monkut. When Moore offers to take Kurt out of prison and in a private facility, Kurt agrees, but only if his team continues their training, and Moore agrees. Darren goes to one of Monkut's training sessions only to learn that the fighter is a project of bioengineering by Ivy League graduate Rupert, who has developed a combination of adrenaline and steroids. I like how they use steroids in the end to help the guy win. This is like, steroids is the most hated drug in sports, but it's okay to get an unfair advantage when you're lifting weights and doing other things to get the same result. Thus making Monkut virtually invincible except for one small weakness, a glass jaw. How did he get a glass jaw? Gammon joins in on the training, and Kurt recognizes Somsak. Moore talks to Crawford about a test fight, to which Moore agrees, and Kurt goes to a local nightclub where he and Darren once again meet Joseph King, whose last fighter decimated Kurt. Kurt faces King's new champion, Moss, while Darren distracts an onlooker. Darren steals his cell phone to call his son Travis. Kurt defeats Moss, and they make a narrow escape with the help of Travis. All right. So the production companies for this are Our House Films, Acme Rocket Fuel, distributed by Well Go USA Entertainment. Release date January 26, 2018. Running time 110 minutes. The version that I saw was 90 minutes. Or no, it was 110 minutes. I stand corrected. Budget 10 million, box office $101,690. Another box office bomb, which might explain why the production is held up for the third in the reboot series, whenever that's coming out. Maybe never. The next day, Kurt finds Somsak and chases him. Kurt chases Somsak. After fighting more of Moore's men, Kurt catches up to Somsak, and Kurt demands to know where Liu is. Liu is being held in Moore's apartment. Kurt, Gammon, and Travis take on Moore's men, with Kurt facing Moore's two female valets. Some more knockouts in some kind of lingerie or something. In a room full of mirrors, only to defeat them, finding Liu and rescuing her. When O'Keefe, Moore's right-hand man, leads an ambush to stop the group, Monkut arrives. He's about to hit Kurt when Liu steps in, and Monkut hits her hard in the stomach, knocking her unconscious. She's in a coma. An angry Kurt tells Crawford to tell Moore he will face Monkut anytime and anywhere. So that's what it takes. Knock my girlfriend unconscious and I'll fight. Liu is comatose in the hospital for a few days until she wakes up and she learns Kurt has taken the fight. She fully accepts his decision. Just like she did in the reboot, she's just standing there watching deathmatch like it's nothing, because that's what people do in Thailand. The fight is set at the old Muay Thai temple with both Kurt and Mongkut ready to fight. Mongkut proves to be too much for Kurt, and midway through, Mongkut throws Kurt to his statue, virtually killing him. When it's believed that Kurt has died from his injuries, Liu finds Rupert's suitcase of adrenaline and steroids and uses a needle to revive Kurt. I love this. I love this movie. It's the opposite of everything politically correct. Like, just say no to steroids. Although it does have some nasty side effects, steroids. Just look at what happened to what's his name, superstar Billy Graham. That guy was just a mess health wise when he became old. During his elderly years, superstar Billy Graham, steroids did not help him in the long run. Awakening, Kurt finds a second wind, and despite getting some of the upper hand, Mongkut once again throws Kurt towards the statue, and this time Mongkut takes him to a nearby fountain to drown him. Kurt imagines himself once again drowning as he did in his dream, kind of like the Monkeys movie Head. This is like the martial arts version of Head. But Kurt overhears the voices of Liu and Darren prompting him to swim out. Kurt grabs a chain and he wraps it around his fist, enabling him to match Mongkut punch for punch. Using his skills, Kurt gets the upper hand and he knocks Mongkut down. When Mongkut comes back up, Kurt resorts to taking Mongkut down with the chain, wrapping it around his neck, choking him out. This is a much better kill scene than the reboot. The reboot kill scene of Tong Po was ridiculous, resulting in Mongkut's neck breaking. And this is a little bit more believable kill scene, a little bit more believable villain, or villains, I should say. Kurt has won, and he is surrounded by Darren, Liu, Gammon, and Travis. Hearing the news that Kurt has beaten Mongkut, Briggs is seen smiling in his prison cell. Mike Tyson. Headmon Entertainment and Acme Rocket Fuel announced the sequel to the film Kickboxer Vengeance, titled Kickboxer 2 Retaliation. Not to be confused with the original Kickboxer 2. Rob Hickman produced the film through Our House Productions along with Dimitri Logothetis through Acme Rocket Fuel, and executive produced by Stephen Swadling and Larry Neely. Wait a minute, Stephen Swadling is one of the actors. Oh, I gotta put his name in the production. Produced by. He plays that Street Fighter promotion guy with the Australian accent. That guy. The film was retitled Kickboxer Retaliation, so that it wouldn't be confused with Kickboxer 2, I guess. The original Kickboxer 2 with Tang Po began pre-production in February 2016, and Dimitri Logothetis was film's director and writer, and Harber Julius Bjornsson was cast to play the role of a fighter. Ultimate Fighting Championships Paige Van Zandt was cast in the film to make her feature debut, with other casts returning: Alain Moussi, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sara, McCall, Lane, Sam Medina, Stephen Swadling, Jessica Jann, the St. George dude, and Kurt Schoen's brother, whatever his name is, Eric, UFC fighter Paige Van Zandt, who was said to make her film debut in the film as Gammon, left the project to focus on a then upcoming fight. Jessica Jann replaced her in the role. Originally a small role in the film, UFC fighter Roy Big Country Nelson's role was expanded. Christopher Lambert joined the principal. He joined the cast as Thomas Moore, an expat martial artist who's the one responsible for coercing Kurt to face Manga. I don't know how he did that. His fighter punched her in the stomach. He didn't order her to do that. It was just an accident, I think. Principal photography on the film began in mid-May 2016, California and Nevada, and in Bangkok, Thailand in July. Wogo USA Entertainment released the film in limited theatrical release and on-demand platforms on January 26, 2018. Later on Blu-ray and DVD on March 13th. Way to go. Well, go USA Entertainment. I recommend adding this to your collection if you have the opportunity to buy the DVD or the Blu-ray. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 92% based on 13 reviews and an average rating of 6.6 out of 10. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 54 out of 100 based on 5 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. In other words, it gets higher ratings than the reboot. And it's not just my opinion, it's other people too. Simon Abrams for RogerEbert.com called it a very dumb and very satisfying throwback to a simpler time when U.S. action films were predictable as they were formulaic. I guess they're talking about Cannon films back in the 90s. Or back in the 80s, I mean. I'm thinking PM Entertainment 90s, Cannon 80s. John DeFore of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, a pulpy and fun flick that is better in some respects than it needs to be. Retaliation may not do for Moussi what the original Kickboxer did for Van Damme, but it won't send fans home disappointed. Producer Rob Hickman announced the name of the third final installment of the trilogy as Kickboxer Syndicate. That's the one that keeps running into production problems. It was later renamed Kickboxer Armageddon. It was set to begin production in 2018. Alain Moussi, James P. Bennett, and Brazilian footballer Neymar will star. Another soccer player, Conor McGregor, UFC dude, was rumored to also appear in the film. So there you have it. Karate Man's back. I wasn't crazy about Kickboxer, the first Kickboxer. And I might add that I hated American Kickboxer 1, which is unrelated to American Kickboxer 2, thank God. But Yeah, I tried looking up 2 through 5, and it's not happening. I love 7. 1 and 6 are so. And I don't know anything about 2 through 5 because I can't find them on YouTube or Netflix. I guess when I switch to Tubi, you can remind me again in October to add it to my movie list. Netflix already cut out my Karate Man's back in the chat room, by the way. I knew he'd showed up eventually, but it took 30 minutes. Anyways. This is a great flick. Good one, Karate Man. This one's highly recommended. Check it out. I've got some more of my picks lined up for next week, but then it goes back into the Karate Man section of my Netflix queue for 2 weeks from now. So that'll be exciting. Karate Man always gives me halfway decent to very good movies to watch for the most part. So thanks for giving me all these martial arts action movies to watch. This one was very fun. I enjoyed it from beginning to end, even though it was like an hour and 50 minutes, this one. Even though it was longer, it didn't have any nudity. The acting and the direction is way better than the reboot Kickboxer from 2016. So if I had to pick a Kickboxer movie to watch, 1 through 7, I pick 7 because I haven't seen 2 through 5, and I wasn't crazy about 1 or 5 or 1 or 6, I should say. So yeah, I posted the links to the movie and 2 of the trailers in the description if you want to click on those. Check them out. Highly recommended. I guess I'll go down my list again. Lots of cult cinema classics to watch. I'm looking forward to The Chase. I want to see The Chase later.